children that have gone through the LearningRx program. The first one, he is almost 14 now, but he went through the program when he was around 12 years of age. And then my other son, he is actually graduated as well. He started the program at 8 and completed it up after he had turned 9. My older son, we focused more and more on the math side, whereas my younger son was the opposite. He's strong in math, so he focused more on the reading. The trainers that we worked with tried to emphasize the areas that we felt they struggled with more at school and at home. My oldest son at the time, we kind of were struggling because he had gotten to the point where he was giving us more pushback with us helping him with homework, and it was becoming a battle at home, and it was affecting our relationship, I guess you would say. It wasn't where I wanted us to be anymore. And I knew he was capable of more, but I didn't know how to give him more. We, met and did the initial assessment, and I felt really good with what they were telling us about our oldest and how it wasn't a tutoring environment. It was more of a way to train your brain to look at things in a different way and approach things from a different angle. And then with our other son, he was younger, but we were kind of seeing some issues that we were afraid would become more in the future. And so we wanted to kind of get a jump start on that. We have seen the improvements with his schoolwork, with his attitude. So we felt like it was a good fit for us and our family. The primary goal, obviously you want your kids to do well in school. So, we wanted to see the payoff in the school environment. But honestly, I think my husband and I we wanted to see their confidence grow. And when they came upon something that was giving them trouble, to not automatically shut down, to help them realize that they were smart enough that they might just need to approach it from a different angle. I really like how it's individualized and that my kids, for the most part, stayed with a consistent trainer. And they did a very good job matching up personalities. My oldest son went with a guy who kind of liked to cut up and joke around, and they had a really good rapport with one another. So it was almost like a friend mentor. And then my younger son, I knew he was still, only 8 at the time when he began, and he still responded well to more of that nurturing, loving feedback. Outside of the academic, it was challenging him from the perspective that you have to sometimes learn to go with the flow and have people who are going to teach you from different ways. I would say the biggest thing that my husband and I both comment on is how much more hands-off we are with his schoolwork, which he is now finishing up his 8th grade year and getting ready to move into the high school arena. But we don't have to spend as much time with him, helping him through homework or preparing for a test. We might quiz him for a test, or there might be a certain section in the math that he doesn't understand. We don't have to hold his hand through it like we did. My younger son, he doesn't resist as much. He's more willing to do the schoolwork. When we do come across an issue that is challenging for him, he might push back, but it's not nearly as much as it was, or we can talk him through it better. I think independence for my older son was a big thing. I feel like he seems to know and believe he's more capable to do things than he was before. My younger son, he has improved a lot on skills, especially with the writing and the English. And just speaking with his teacher too, in 3rd grade, and I've been trying to keep up with her throughout the year, she has seen the changes in his quality of work over the course of the year. I think as far as what my students have achieved with LearningRx is confidence, realizing that there's different approaches to the same problem. It might not always be solved one way, but you can figure out how to solve it a different way. I love the trainers that are there. The ones that I've met with, they've all been so wonderful, and you can tell that they truly do care for your kid. They want to see them succeed, and they are willing to go above and beyond and find what is going to help your kid be successful. I guess just my kids, seeing them grow and taking those initial assessments from where they were, looking at this is where they fall on the national average for verbal or auditory or comprehension. I'm not sure if I'm getting the categories correct, but just looking at those categories from where they start to where they end, of course, seeing the statistical difference, you feel like you've done something right for your child. If we're going to invest in our child, what better investment is there than for their brain? To help their brain develop and help, because that is, in my opinion, where the money should go, more than other activities or extracurriculars. I want them to be set up, not to necessarily be the top of their class, but for them to feel confident and for them to learn and to enjoy the learning process. When we initially started, we didn't know what to expect. We know the family that had gone before us, and we knew their kids have all done very well for themselves, and we just felt like it was worth taking that gamble and seeing what we ended up with. And I think we're both glad that we did it. I don't think we would take that back for any way, shape, or form.